our next person, Miss Peighton Tavis, right?
Tavis.
Tavis, okay, close enough. All right, all right. And she has joined our lab recently, and she is doing something fairly similar to what Jared Sharp, I'm sorry, did earlier on today, but she's looking at the other proteins, the histones, that we're quite interested in. Once again, the best signal we can possibly try to get. So, Ms. Peighton, go for it.
Hi, my name is Peighton Tavis. I'm a junior here. I'm majoring in pre-health professional biology. And today I'm going to be presenting my research on blocking buffers, Western blotting, and their effects on mammalian histones. So histones are highly alkaline proteins found within the nucleus that organize DNA into chromosomes and regulate transcription. Our lab is especially interested in investigating the connection between histones and mitochondria by using the processes of cell fractionation and Western blotting. We have actually found that isolated histones and isolated mitochondria will bind together, and that will induce the release of mitochondrial proteins. We use Western blotting to visualize specific proteins embedded on the nitrocellulose membrane by the use of antibodies. For those of you who do not know what Western blotting is, the process of how to do that is you separate proteins by using gel electrophoresis. You then transfer the proteins out of the gel onto a flat surface, such as nitrocellulose membrane in our case. You then block the proteins and you add primary and secondary antibodies. And for our experiment, for the primary antibody, we use anti-H3 rabbit polyclonal antibodies, and for the secondary, we used anti-goat rabbit antibodies. So we use blocking buffers to prevent non-specific binding of the antibodies. Antibodies against histones have very poor binding affinity, and so it makes the Western blots have poor signals with traditional blocking buffers. So we're wanting to see which blocking buffers would probably work better or work not quite as good as common blocking buffers, such as 5% non-fat dry milk, which is a universal blocking buffer. So we did 3 rounds, and each round it was the same blot, but we just cut it into different pieces to where we could use different blocking buffers. We used 5% non-fat dry milk as our control. We used BSA, which is bovine serum albumin. We used gelatin and hemoglobin. We used PVP, which is polyvinyl prolidine, and PEG, which is polyethylene glycol. So 5% non-fat dry milk was the control for round 1. It provided a good signal strength. We used 5% BSA, which provided a good signal strength as well. We used 5% gelatin, and it did not provide a good signal strength at all. Like, there were no bands that showed up. We used 5% hemoglobin, and it provided an okay signal strength. It wasn't as good as the BSA or the milk. We then used 2% PVP and 2% PEG, which was the best signal strength for that round. So the best blocking buffer for round 1 was PVP and PEG. For round 2, we used 5% non-fat dry milk again as the control. It provided a good signal strength again. We used 4% BSA. It provided a good signal strength again. We used 4% gelatin, and again, it did not provide a good signal strength at all. The proteins were completely stripped off, and it created a lot of background noise, which is this right here for 4% gelatin. We used 4% hemoglobin, and that provided a better signal strength than the 5% hemoglobin did. We used 3% milk and 4% milk, and those provided really good signal strengths as well. We used 4% PEG by itself this time, and it did not work as well as we were hoping it would. It did not provide a good signal strength at all. And then we used 1% PVP and PEG, and it provided a good signal strength again and was the best blocking buffer for round 2. For round 3, we used 5% non-fat dry milk again as the control. We used 1%, 2%, and 3% PSA, and it worked really good. It had a very good signal strength. We used 3% gelatin. It did not provide a good signal strength again. The proteins were stripped off. We used 3% hemoglobin, and it provided an okay signal strength. It was mediocre at best. We used 1% milk. It provided a good signal strength. And this time we used PVP by itself and PEG again by itself. And we found that PVP works better by itself than PEG, but it still wasn't a good signal strength. And we used 3% PVP and 3% PEG again by itself, and it was the best blocking buffer for that round as well. So in conclusion, as you can clearly see, for each round, the PVP and PEG worked the best, and we found that gelatin did not work at all. The proteins were completely stripped off. In fact, as you used a higher concentration, the protein was not present at all, and more background noise was found with higher percentages. We found that the lower percentage of protein works best with histones, as you can see with the 1% milk and 1% BSA. And the reason why PVP and PEG work so well is because it's not a protein at all, it's an organic polymer.
I'd just like to point one thing out, comparing the two. I don't know if everybody's seen Mr. Sharp's presentations, but each protein you have to find the best one. In both cases, the PVP-PEG mixtures work pretty well, but with the cytochrome C, if you went to lower concentrations of proteins like the milk or the BSA, you got a worse signal. Here, you're seeing the opposite. We're looking at a different protein. So this type of stuff to optimize signal, it see depends, pure, clean, and pure. You have to try and see which works best and works good for you. Might not work for somebody else's protein. So that's just a summary of the whole thing. Okay, anybody else?
All right, let's thank our speaker one more time.
All right.